We are deep in the heart of Texas.
And deeply tired because we're taking an early morning flight.
Look at us walking through the airport. We're walking through the jetway. We're getting on the plane.
And we're taking pictures.
Ben's getting a window seat to shoot out the window.
And
I'm taking a nap.
We're taking an early morning flight to Sundance.
It's the Sundance Film Festival.
That's right, the last year before it moves to Boulder. And we started the podcast here last year, and we are back, baby.
Back in the snow, walking the streets of Park City, talking to filmmakers, talking to producers, setting the tone for the year, and we are going to bring you multiple episodes from the Sundance Film Festival, all thanks to our sponsors,
the Austin Film Society and our friends at the Longtime Texas.
All right, so stick around for Doc Walks in the Snow.
Ding, 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 ding. Do, 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 do.
On your left.
You're listening to Doc Walks with Ben and Keith.
All right, do I look?
Don't even worry.
You don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
We are having a conversation. There is nothing you can do wrong.
I like that. I'm gonna put that on a bumper sticker.
There is nothing you can do wrong.
We were having a conversation. There was nothing you could do wrong. There is nothing you could do wrong except slip on the ice.
Right.
But if you do, we'll have it.
Well, wait. Let's comment on where we are here. We're at the base of Main Street.
Yeah.
Here at Sundance. Yeah. And this is like the spot. Like everybody stops here to take a photo.
Yeah. Grab a.
Well, why don't we do this? I know we just did a selfie with the phone, but let's do it with our cameras here. This is a good way to start. We'll do a selfie.
I'm gonna boom. Ready?
With our friend Sam. This is great. This is Sam Green, everybody, on Doc Walks.
Welcome.
At the foot of Main Street in Park City at the Sundance Film Festival.
2026, last year in Park City, and you are here with.
Am I feeling called the oldest person?
Now, Sam, would you consider
Yeah.
giving us a kind of a classic Sam Green voiceover intro?
Ooh.
Like something thoughtful and nuanced that gets us.
On the spot.
Well,
All right. It was a cold, wintry day.
Nah.
it really was. It was and it is.
So far, it is.
According to my phone, it feels like 14 degrees.
It was three guys about to take a walk. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Let's see.
Let's see. Let's find out.
See what it was. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So I don't know if you would remember, but I met you in your brief stint in Austin during the COVID.
I remember.
Ron Mann brought me over.
Yeah. I totally remember that.
We sat around your fire, and I met Kat, and I met Atlas.
Yeah.
And then so it was so great when I saw the film, because like Atlas is in one of the very earliest shots, and I was like, that's Atlas.
Yeah.
And then Atlas emerges as, a catalyst to so much of the storytelling.
Yeah.
I felt a little left out because I don't want to give too much of your film away, and we're going to have to jump in right in. But because the film tells a linear story over 10 years in some ways, I was really hoping that your brief stay in Austin
Wouldn't make it. So you were watching Sam's beautiful personal film, trying to make it about you.
Angry because he wasn't in it.
Angry.
Frankly, I was angry.
Well, Sam,
Yeah, there's so much one can't include. But our stay in Austin during COVID was wonderful. Wonderful.
well, thank you. And we have met in Austin through our mutual friend Bradley Beasley.
Yeah.
And it seems like you come to Austin a fair amount.
Yeah, I love Austin. We ended up in Austin during COVID because for various reasons we had nowhere to go. And we said, where should we go? And I said, I remember swimming in Barton Springs once, and I had the greatest time. Let's go to Austin.
Yes. And so you were in New York.
Yeah.
Fairly oppressive,
Yeah.
I imagine, to be
Thank
in New
God.
York at that time.
Yeah. We had rented our house out right before COVID, and so didn't have anywhere to live.
That was fortuitous. Yeah.
So anyway,
You were on Milan, if I remember. I don't know. It's a long story.
Venice, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, Austin is the Venice of Central Texas in many ways.
That's what everybody said.
Pretty much. It's also on a bumper sticker. That bumper sticker got covered with the other bumper sticker.
Well,
Right.
so Sam, you're here with your film.
Yeah.
The oldest person in the world.
Yeah.
And normally we would save you
Okay.
having to describe your film.
Yeah.
But it is so personal.
Uh-huh.
and you narrate the whole thing.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm a little intimidated
Oh,
to try to encapsulate your
you're
film.
gonna make
should
me
I,
do it.
well, no.
You should do
try?
it. Yeah, do it, please.
And then you can jump in at any
Okay.
point.
Okay.
and
I think
correct
you'll
me.
do a fine job.
Okay, so the oldest person in the world starts with the idea that you are taken with the Guinness Book of World Records, and particularly the oldest person in the world.
Yeah.
And you set out to start filming with them, and it quickly becomes a meditation on your life, on having a child,
Having the drum.
on having a cancer scare
Yeah.
diagnosis.
Yeah.
And then becomes this sort of beautiful meditation about what it means to even celebrate that miracle and to be alive. How'd I do?
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Also, it's
I'm
a-
very winded.
I know it's the altitude. We're all like. There's also a part about my mom who's old and my younger brother who died, and so it's it's personal.
Yes. It's personal and deeply layered. Did you know going in that it was going to be a personal?
Not at all. And that's one of the things I love about documentaries. You set off to make something. You have your idea about the world, and the world has other ideas.
Tells you, what the story should be.
And the world is always more interesting than anything I could think of, personally. That's why I love documentaries. So I thought I would film every person who was the oldest person in the world, and they would spout these pearls of wisdom. I actually imagined them to be like Harold and Maude.
Yeah.
Oh, saucy old people who were wise. But what I didn't realize is by the time you're 116, you're fucking tired.
Right.
You don't care about big ideas about life and death. You want a snack and a nap.
Right.
So
I'm 116 right now.
So anyway, it sort of changed. I also realized, like, I'm not interested in like the Blue Zones element to this. I'm interested in what these people mean to us in terms of time and fate and mortality and stuff like that. So those themes just started happening in the film.
Well, one of the things that I love about your work that seems like there's a through line, whether it's this or your live documentaries, is the sort of natural curiosity that you have to explore very like fun, seemingly random ideas. And then they become very full of meaning in your exploration of them, like I'm trying to think of a good example, like the way in 32 Sounds you save the tapes from your answering machine, for example, where like that's the kind of thing, or like your new film that you're making about trees. Something that seems like it would be hard to make a film about, and maybe there isn't enough material there even, but that you are somehow able to find this sort of deeper, profound meaning in.
Thanks for saying that.
I mean, do you think of it that same way?
Well, I mean, I don't. I guess I'm interested in stuff, and if in a film you can communicate that and make people interested in it too, or see what's interesting, then you've succeeded.
Yeah.
I got to do one thing. I'm very into manhole covers.
Oh.
And every city I go to, I take photos of the manhole covers. So this is a pretty good one.
See, this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Like, what is it about manhole
I
covers?
planned that.
Sundance 2032 manhole cover movie.
Manhole covers are awesome because they're different in every city,
Okay.
and some cities are really boring, and some are very creative, and every city you go to, you can look out for them. They're all different. There's no standard, and it's completely. I became interested in that. There's no value in it.
Okay.
I'm not doing a project. There's no career boost. It's all fun, but it's really fun. The more I have always felt like if you pay attention to something, it becomes meaningful.
Yeah.
And
Yes. What was the line from Joy Bubbles that we were quoting?
The more, if you love something hard enough, it loves you back.
Yes.
I like that. Wow.
See, so I'm wondering if actually what you're describing is going to turn into a film project for you.
The Manhole covers?
Yeah, because have you had other film projects
That come out, yes, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. But, you know, it's fun that I like part of it for me that delights me is that there's no value to it.
Right.
It's pure pleasure and curiosity.
But
But
that
there's no value to it until up there is.
Until I sell it to Netflix.
You get into these narrow pathways to the way that you tell a story, and then there's a hard cut, and suddenly we're in a factory where a bicycle goes by, or a great piece of iPhone footage that has been haunting your phone for 10 years kind of changes, like turns the page.
Hold down, you guys. This one.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
It's a little clearer in hole number 2.
So wait, describe. This is a great opportunity. So describe what it is that you're seeing here when you look at
This one is awesome because it says Olympic City, Park City, and I think the Olympics here were in like 2008 or something like that. So it's been here a long time. And you know, this is like unique to Park City.
Right.
And they made these at some point. They cast these in some foundry somewhere, and it's cool because a lot of cities just have nothing. Like the New York one says, New York City made in India.
No.
And it's like,
why would they
this
put
is-
that on the cover?
There, that's the shipping cost. So
I know. It's like this great little canvas. You can put like, you are a wonderful person, or
Right.
there's so many things you could put.
That made in India seems like
I know,
a
just they probably like they got them cheaper if they said that or something. But there's some places, Spain, when I was in Barcelona, they have these beautiful versions of those, like Art Deco. They're just gorgeous and they make you feel good.
right.
So, you know.
Well, it's funny that you described this canvas. When I was in Code Scouts,
Uh-huh.
we would go out and roll India ink on a roller. We did manhole covers and waterway
yeah,
covers.
yeah, yeah.
Eventually we did an old grave.
Yeah, grave rubbing.
We did that with the ink. We did that with the crayon on paper, but the ink ones we did on we made t-shirts. Roll the ink on and press the.
So you guys, Main Street is very. I knew I'd have this, but I'd come to Sundance for a long time. I first came in 1997, and in 1997, people put up flyers. And I came with my first film. I didn't know anything about film festivals. Didn't know anybody. I came here, and I'd gone to Kinko's, and I made a bunch of flyers for my movie. And I walked up and down Main Street,
Handing out
putting
flyers
them
and
up on the lamppost.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And did it work? Did people come?
Yes. If you
A few years later, he's still coming. I think it works.
No, but I discovered also that if you put them on the inside of a bathroom stall,
Yes.
people are sitting there taking a shit.
You've got a captive audience.
Yeah. Attack the house with those.
So wait a minute. So that was '97, you
Yeah,
said? And
yeah.
so what film would that have been?
It was called The Rainbow Man, John 316.
Yes. You know,
First
I
film I made.
became a fan of yours and ordered that on VHS. And in a plastic tub in my storage unit that I
They're
have,
still
I have a VHS tape of The Rainbow Man, John 316, and I love that. And that was a short, correct?
It was 40 minutes long, which is
Oh,
like
that's an unusual
the
length.
worst. Somebody later told me that's a schlong, a short long.
A schlong. And then, so after Rainbow Man,
Yeah.
when is The Weather Underground your next film?
Yeah, that was 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that at Film Forum
Ah.
on a classic. So I lived in the Lower East Side from '98 to 2005. And probably twice a month, the Saturday tradition was not to get the paper and kind of see what was playing, but it was
wow,
just
just
to
go.
get up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wander over to Film Forum.
Yeah.
And if there was nothing there, which there always was,
Yeah.
there's 4 other places,
Yeah.
within 10 blocks. But my memory is that was one of those Weather Underground. I kind of stumbled over to, no warning, no critique, just the marquee. And I love that film. I love that time period.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love the world that you introduced us to through that. That film is like reflections of that film are on screens right now with one battle after another.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you feel like they were picking your pocket a little bit?
No, I had a very funny experience with that. At some point, Josh Penn had put me in touch with called Thomas Anderson's office. So I remember emailing back and forth with them, but I didn't remember anything else. And it had been years before. So I went to see One Metal After Another, And you know that scene with the letter from the mother? Yes.
Yes.
So there's a new pinboard. It starts off, "Hello from the other side of the shadows," and I was like,
Oh.
"That's weirdly familiar." And then the next line was like, "I don't mean to scare you after so many years," and I just started saying the lines. You know, I was like,
No.
and it was 4 lines in a row from that letter.
Wow.
And I was like, God damn it, I can't believe I must have sent them a copy because they are fucking using this letter.
Wow.
That's so lame that they stole it. And I was like, how could I shake them down for some money? I was really mad. And so I went home and I looked through the correspondence and I had completely forgotten. They were like, can we use this letter? I was like, I'll put you in touch with the person's daughter who wrote it. Completely cool. You know, so it was like no ground to stand on.
So you went from being really pissed to being kind of flattered.
Yeah,
Like,
just
oh,
like,
yeah, that was a good
no,
idea.
I did think I should have got some money from this somehow. But anyway, I that movie was cool, and yeah, it is. Although it's funny because
Well, I have a question for you about that movie because I loved it,
yeah,
except for the ending. And your documentary has the ending to it, which I wanted to see from that movie, which is that they learn a lesson, which is that violent
Yeah.
protest is not necessarily a smart move. And if we became a lawyer and tried to make change from the inside, for example, that could maybe have a, more profound effect.
That's true.
And I loved everything about the movie except for that last moment, which left me sort of feeling like, well, wait a minute. We just watched all these horrible decisions happen and the consequences from them, and then she's just going to go do it again?
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny. I didn't really take it seriously in terms of like the politics and the ideas.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it was just fun.
I think you took it in
crap.
the spirit they intended. Yeah, I will say, Ben, one of the differences between you and I is not only do I not remember the end,
You don't remember the end?
I
of
don't
that
remember, not only do I remember the Sam's movie, which I haven't seen in 22 years,
Oh.
but I don't remember the end to One Battle After Another, which I saw 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
But what I remember from both, and what I always take away from films, is the feeling kind of in my chest.
Yes.
Like a sense of space that I'm inhabiting because of the world that the filmmaker has brought me into. And that's what I was getting at a little bit ago when I was talking about, like, before we saw Manhole cover number 2, the editorial shifts that you employ to kind of open a new chapter in your storytelling. And it really comes across, I think, in this film, The Oldest Person in the World, that just when I feel like you've set an expectation, you pull the rug out of that expectation and you go sometimes 180 degrees, sometimes 90 degrees, sometimes 360 degrees. And I just wanted to talk to you about, for filmmaking that is as subjective, all films are subjective, but your films are particularly subjective and personal.
Yeah.
What is the relationship between you and your editor as you kind of create these sub-chapters and these turns?
That's a hard one. I mean, I edit, sort of a lot of the film, and this I did with Aaron Wickenden, and it's hard because you can't, with at least the movies I make, you can't be like, okay, go make the film to an editor. Right. A lot of it's like writing, and so sometimes I would write something and Aaron would make it better, or like some of the verite. The verite is all him, because like he's a much better editor in that sense than me.
So you mean like the verite scenes where you're with your son, for example?
Yeah, or like the one with Maria Brañas at the end, where the Spanish lady. That's like a lot of. I don't talk in that entire scene, so it's all him. That was all him cutting. So it's like a balance, but it is hard because a lot of what drives the film is writing.
For sure, yeah.
So I just like make a lot of sketches and we use some of them and don't use some of them.
With a film like this that traverses 10 years of storytelling, as you're doing those shoots and as you're picking off ideas along the way, are you editing chunks?
Well, we did a funny thing, me and Aaron, where for several years in a row, we would edit for months every February.
Okay.
because he would have a movie at Sundance, and February he'd be free. He'd come.
Yeah.
So we had a standing date. We did it for 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Every 1 month.
Okay.
And that was pretty good. But then the last year we've worked together for full time.
And how much of those yearly days?
Plus, it's a good question. Not a ton. Not a ton. But we had a good time.
I'm curious in you describing your editing
Let's
process.
just say this is a lovely walk. I'm really enjoying. The street is nice. Like,
Yeah.
We got people. It's not too busy. Nobody's bumping into us. Or
I agree. I thought it would be yeah.
Let's build on that for a second, because a huge portion of our audience is only listening. It's a podcast. We're shooting with cameras. Right. People are on Audible or Spotify or wherever. What do you use to describe the scene?
Well, it's a long street that usually has traffic, but it's blocked off parks. So it's kind of like, and there are a lot of people walking. It's not in the middle of the road. It's not the kind of situation like Fort Lauderdale on a Friday night where you're shoulder to shoulder with people. The closest people are 15 feet away, but there's a kind of festive feeling in the air where people like walking in the street. There's a kind of giddiness there. You'll stomach it.
Yep.
And it's nice, people are out, and it's just kind of a lovely stroll out there.
Do you feel in all black, like banding on a high night?
Yeah.
Some people are in this crowd, and I will say Sam is wearing color that I had a hard time pinpointing a description of. It has a fluorescence. You have two garments that are well together. How would you describe this color?
I'm wearing I think an orange shirt and an orange sweater and white pants.
There you go. It's orange. But it's like you guys.
Yeah. It looks like you could go hunting and be completely safe.
You could get a job directing traffic if you needed to.
And I'll point out, you are wearing a clown suit, which is pretty awesome.
That's a strong choice.
I'm a gentleman to be an independent filmmaker. So.
Well, Sam, going back to process, because you were talking about how you work with your editor, I have to admit something else. Every time I watch one of your films or your live documentaries, which I want to talk to you more about in a minute, I have this feeling like, oh my God, I want to make that movie. And I don't necessarily know how to start making something like that because it is such a personal exploration that feels like I don't even know how you would get started. So how do you start a project is the question.
Well, like I'm making a movie about trees now.
Yeah.
And I just started editing. And I just took some of the footage from one shoot I did and I kind of wrote out a story that I liked from it and recorded it, and then I put it with some images and then I did some music and another part, and it's just a sketch, and odds are it'll never end up in the movie, but for me I get like 25 sketches and start to put them together and see what's there.
Most of the sequencing, like a musician records an album.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, with The Oldest Person in the World, that was the hugest challenge, because a lot of those pieces are in chronological order, but a lot are not.
Right.
So figuring out the order was super challenging.
So, but in something like the case of the Trees film, I have a habit of making movies that sound like they aren't going to be that serious or taken very seriously, about a comedy duo that's pranking morning news shows, for example, or a classic underground tape of outtakes, right? And I have written lots of grants in my life. And those ideas do not get grants in my experience. So when you started projects and it's about something like trees, for example, I'm asking this because I see at the end in your credits that you have like 8 foundations that are supported you. Said yes to The Oldest Person in the World, and thank goodness they did. But I'm just curious, like, how do you approach that if the idea is still kind of a sketch and you're still sort of finding it as you go?
That's hard. It's just like a built-in challenge, especially if you don't know trees. I don't know how I'm going to do it still.
Yeah.
I'm doing it and I don't know how I'm going to do it. that doesn't inspire a ton of confidence.
No.
But,
But you have a track record at this
I've
point.
done
and-
enough
yeah.
movies. I know I can nail something about trees.
Right.
So,
Okay. And so, but you're obviously like projecting in the applications, like what you think the importance will be.
it's an impossible at this point, I think.
Yeah.
I never had any grants in one.
Is that right? Well, how was the oldest person in the world put together?
A lot of markets, like so, a lot of equity money.
All right, we are hopping off Main Street, so now we're walking into the more serene, quieter kind of side streets that make Park City.
To follow up on that question, one thing that we talk about a lot, Sam, is that we hope this podcast is for people who were like us in our 20s, who are like maybe just starting out and like falling in love with the art form and wondering how to do it. And we also, that goes hand in hand with sort of talking about the state of the industry, and there's a lot of doom and gloom. And talk of new formats and new ways to do things. And I feel like you are such an interesting person to talk to about that, because you pioneered sort of a way to make docs that feels like it's fresh and new and able to.
You want to walk in the street up the hill, or should we just go down?
You know, I think down is going to be trickier.
Down's gonna be tricky.
Whereas if we go up, there's not as many people, but we will pant.
We will pant. We're tough.
Let's pant. Anyways, I'm making this question too long. My question is,
What is the question, babe?
what do you think of the state of
Watch your step.
State of
doc filmmaking, and how are you wrestling with that?
yeah, and with an eye to younger people.
Yeah.
Emerging.
Yeah, I don't want to be discouraging, but I emphasize and feel for anybody trying to get into making documentary films now.
Yeah.
It's hard. The world is much less hospitable,
Yes.
and it's a bummer. So, but I do think documentary had this sort of like spurt of money and streamers, and there was like every movie in the world was getting funded, and in some ways I think people got used to that and thought that was normal, but that was a blip.
Yeah, that's never really
It's
been the
always
case.
been hard,
Yeah.
and there's been no money, and people did it because they loved doing it and they figured out a way to do it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's sort of back to that. And I don't know, I mean, young people, the great thing about being young at least is that you're not tied to old ways of doing things, and you can figure out new ways to make work and make a living. And I think people who are serious and committed will do it, but
Right.
I don't really have a good tip for how to do it.
I think a new tip is always, right, find a way to speak out and make your voice heard. Find a way to make your unique voice heard. And that's something you've done in a couple different ways, but the way that I think is perhaps the most exciting and a little confounding for me is the live documentary experience that you've pioneered.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the birth of that idea?
Yeah.
And kind of describe it.
So, live cinema that you're mentioning is something I've been doing since 2010, and it's kind of all the elements of a movie, but it happens live. So, I narrate on stage, I show a bunch of images on the screen, and a band does a live score. And I just totally happened into this form. It wasn't anything calculating. I was making a movie about utopia, like 4 different parts woven together, and I thought it was great, and I showed it to people, a rough cut, and everybody said, "This makes no sense whatsoever." And I was completely crushed, and I was stuck. The material wasn't saying what I wanted it to say. And Craig Baldwin in San Francisco said, "Hey, will you do a presentation about your project?" And I said, "Yeah."
Like a fundraising presentation?
No, just like, will you talk about your project
That's
at
like
our
a
cinema? And I
Okay.
said, "Yeah, I'll show some clips and I'll talk." And that sounds really boring, so I'll get somebody to do live music. And I did all that. I explained, like, here's what I'm going to do. And then I showed a clip, and my friend Dave Surf made live music, and it totally worked. It worked just the way I wanted the film to work. And then I kind of was like, And somebody else asked me to come to a film festival in Portland and do this presentation. And so I said, made it fancier. And I did it, and it really worked. And I was like, maybe this is the form this movie should take. Because I guess part of it was I didn't want to do a voiceover movie. Voiceover movies, I grew up or started making work at a time when voiceover movies were the worst.
Yeah, they had
Just
sort of
like-
a negative connotation.
Totally.
I remember when I was starting too.
Yeah, you just avoided it at all costs.
Well, and Rainbow Man and Weather Underground don't have.
They have a little bit of narration.
They do. Okay.
But if you listen to somebody talk, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if I'm there narrating, you're not going to be bored in the same way. So I just started.
You may still be bored.
Yeah,
but just
on the same new style. So I submitted that live documentary to Sundance, and it got in, and we did it here. And I thought that would be the only time we did it. But then all these film festivals started saying, "Hey, would you do your live documentary here?" And it was so fun. We traveled all over the world. I'd never been in a band.
Yeah.
And I think it was as close to being in a band as I could be, and it was fun.
Hey Sam.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
It's Dan. Congratulations on your premiere. I heard it was unbelievable. If you did Canada, they were sobbing and they were so deeply touched. I'm excited to make. We're gonna come see it later in the week. So that's out.
Good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Great to see you. Hello. Hey.
I swear I wasn't talking to you, Dan. I came over to film the Pray for Snow sign, and I looked over and there you were. This is Ben Steinbauer. Do you know Ben?
Hey, how you doing?
With Bagel Man
Hi,
years
nice to
ago?
meet you. Yeah. Thank you.
How's the festival treating you?
Well, this is what Sam. We should be talking about.
Let's talk.
We're
Yeah.
deep in the same. We're gonna take it back out.
Movies. What could I possibly do?
Have y'all ever worked together?
We're mutual fans. I had one of the most powerful experiences I ever had in Sundance. Was a twofer, and one of them was Sam's film with Kronos Quartet.
$1,000. Yeah.
And I saw that film, and I'm trying to remember what the other film that day, and it was like a high and a low of emotional intensity in the same day in film, and it was like, that's what Sundance is. I'm trying to remember what that other film was. It's a few years ago.
I remember you wrote an email to the programmer.
I wrote Tabitha about that. Did she send that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a very special day. So yeah, with Sam Speed Egyptian. It was at the Egyptian.
Yeah.
It was 2 films at the Egyptian.
Yeah.
And it was like just a very intense experience. So
Oh,
yeah.
all these memories.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah. Were you at that thing last night?
Which?
There was a Red for a Gala thing.
Oh,
it's more of the same. And like, listen, I wouldn't have had anything without Sundance. You know, like so many of us, there's nothing. There would be nothing without Sundance in 1,000 different ways.
Yeah.
well, we're all here to appreciate and celebrate what this means, the turning of the page. Next year in Boulder, do you have any thoughts on what that might be like?
I think reinvention is always good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in constant reinvention of what we do. I'm reimagining what we do every few months, and like how we do it and how we're successful and what happens when we fail. And so like, I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not against it. And I think like, let's use it as an opportunity to make something
New
new.
chapters are great. I was actually really, I chuckled because Eugene at our screening yesterday said, the governor's here. And I was like, honestly, the governor of Utah?
No, the governor of Colorado. Because he was at this other, he's walking around the big cat.
Yeah, this is like, I imagine
met
him
that
doing like a victory lap, or he's spiking the ball or something. You know?
It seemed a little betraying, actually, to show up. Honestly, it was a little spiking the ball, but you know, he's psyched.
He's cool. He's a Democrat.
He is a Democrat, and they legalized psilocybin in Colorado too. So he's pretty progressive.
Okay, maybe they can make that part of the festival.
Yeah.
We'll be the merch. Put it in the merch store.
Hey, that's a good idea. Heard it here first.
Well, we don't want to make you tray and step on whatever it is you're up to here, Dan. You said I came to pray for snow, and instead I got to see an old friend. Dan Kogan, producer, executive producer, move maker extraordinaire, of course at the head of Story Syndicate with his wife Liz Garbus, and so instrumental in the lives of hundreds of filmmakers for the years that he spent at Impact Partners.
Keith, I got to tell you, literally 2 weeks ago, I was talking about Tower.
Well, I appreciate that.
And we were talking about like how you do storytelling without AI and without footage. And I literally was like, you have to watch Tower, and you have to watch how it unfolds. You have to watch the moment when the real people come in, and it fucking blows you away. Because you've been hearing their voices, but you don't know if they're alive or dead. Like, you don't know where those voices came from, and you don't know what happened. And you have to watch this movie.
Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. We're coming up at 10 years since that film came out, and I am feeling old this year with knowledge.
You should do something for that. Like, you should do a special screening. You should do something.
I think Kino Lorber's going to put it out on screens across the country again.
Good.
And I'm hoping we can come up to New York, maybe to film forum again. If we do, I will bug you. And I'm going to bug you for your own hour-long dock walk where Sam could come and crash.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to see you. I saw you on Main Street yesterday, and I wasn't sure if you saw me across the crowd.
I did not see
But
it.
I wasn't going to let another moment go by without saying hello.
Thank you for saying hi.
I owe so much to Dan. Dan is the executive producer of Dear Mr. Brody, and one of my favorite surprise pitch meeting of all time was when we sat across the table and I slid those letters across to you, and I saw your eyes light up the way mine did when I first heard
That was fucking magic.
So, thank you, Dan.
There are a small number of films where that happened, where something just like magic like that happens, and that was magic.
I appreciate that. Give my best to Liz.
I will.
Yeah. We'll let you get back to whatever you're doing, and we'll see you around.
See ya.
Take it easy, man.
We're gonna see this documentary. You never know what's gonna happen.
100%.
We couldn't have scripted Dan Kogan with a guest appearance.
No, we could not.
Well, so Ben and I are going to be making our way to the Texas barbecue.
Oh wow!
Which, if you don't have plans, then way after this walk, you are invited to experience. Then tell him about the.
It's my favorite barbecue in Austin. It's called KG Barbecue, and this guy is from Cairo, Egypt. Was a banker. He's a young guy, so it wasn't a midlife crisis, but basically stopped in his tracks and said, "I don't want to do this. I want to move to Texas and start making barbecue." And he basically apprenticed with like all of the classic Texas barbecue chefs, and then opened his own Egyptian-inspired Texas
We're
barbecue.
doing like a pop-up.
He has still a trailer, not a brick and mortar, in Austin, but he's been featured in like Bon Appetit, and he's like on the move.
The film commissioners around the state of Texas always throw this party, and they always bring a great chef.
That's great.
Yeah.
To kind of remind the world that we, at least for us from Austin, we're a little blue dot in a big red sea, and we're welcoming despite the politics that we're doing. Well, we were deeply in connecting over the subject of live cinema.
Oh yeah. So I came up with this form, and then I really loved it. It's so fun. It this is not why I do it, but it is a different economy that's actually a very favorable economy for an artist.
We'll talk about that, because you're not showing your film, you're not playing these at movie theaters, you're playing at like the Bass Concert Hall when you come to Austin. So it's more like performing
arts world, and that's a totally different world that still has money.
You're right.
And they pay people good, and I make a living doing those shows. And so it's not why I was drawn to it and not why I do it primarily, but it is important if you're a filmmaker to figure out how to make a living.
Yes.
And a lot of people teach, and some people have trust funds.
Right.
Actually, a surprising number of people have trust funds. A lot of some people have hustles doing commercial stuff. And
that's my story.
you got to figure it out. Otherwise, it can't work. So.
Right. Well, I'm interested in the performative part of it, because if you start thinking voiceover is bad, then you start using voiceover, then arguably being the star of the show, like you are in live documentary, is a whole other level of that. So is that something that you sort of felt like you took on and slipped right into, or did it take some like getting used to being the star?
Thought of myself, when I was young, I was a shy person, And I still, in some ways you still think of, if you were a fat kid, you still think of yourself as a fat kid. I still think of myself as a shy person, but when I started doing these things, I did enjoy it. But I like being nervous. I get so nervous before a show.
Even still.
Oh yeah, and I like it. That's like invigorating, and you pull it off, and it feels great. But there's it's funny because my girlfriend Katz, who's now my wife Katz, is a choreographer and showbiz person, performance person.
Yeah.
And so early on I said to her, Kat, there's this crazy thing. Do you know that when you're on stage you can feel the energy of the audience? Wild. And she was like, performing arts 101, but I had not understood that. And that's such an interesting thing because I think as filmmakers, we make a film, but we never really consider the room, the experience of it. And it always sort of puzzled me that we think of Avatar on an IMAX screen and Avatar on your phone as the same movie.
Right.
When it's just so much of the movie is the context in which experience. So I like all that stuff.
And is there something important about it being not able to be replicated?
Oh yeah, I like that too. The ephemeral nature of it, it's something sort of like that resonates with me. That's what our lives are like, and there's something cool about that. Also, just now in an age where you could see any movie anytime.
Sure.
There's tons of stuff. I'm like, yeah, someday I'm gonna watch that, but
if you ever get,
if you really gotta watch it, or you're never gonna have a chance again, then you do it.
And so you don't sell DVDs necessarily of the live?
I mean, I'll send somebody a link of it because I have a video, but I don't distribute
Well,
it.
I'm glad you do because I saw the Kronos Quartet film on a link. I saw 32 Sounds at the Paramount Theater in Austin, thinking I was going to get a live experience and then being told, oh, no, Sam's in Italy. But, put on these headphones and experience the thing. And as much as I've never experienced the ephemeral live performance, and I know it's different, but getting those links, getting a chance to sit in the screening, the hook was baited. And I salivated the idea of being in that live performance. I want to ask you about the performance though, because Ben and I were talking about this last night. 10 years ago when I had a film come out and I went to a festival and the filmmaker brunch was up against my screening, and I thought, well, I want to meet these filmmakers, so I'm going to go to the filmmaker brunch. And Barbara Kopple was there, and she grabbed my hand and she said, I'm going to see your movie. What are you doing here at the brunch? And I said, I wanted to meet you and meet her. She's like, no, you have to go see your movie, and I'm going too. And she said, she looked me in the eye and she said, never pass up a chance to watch your movie with an audience. This is what it's about. And
that's great.
And I've taken it to heart, and she's right. But I'm curious for you, what is the difference between last night, you're sitting in the audience hearing the personal story that you unfolded, versus being on stage presenting?
Well, when you do a live thing, you do it over and over and over again, and it can't exist without you doing it. So it's sort of part of it, whereas a regular movie, you have an option to just go have a drink or something. And this movie, I wanted to sit through it twice to make sure the DCP is good.
Right.
So I may stop going to it. But I once was talking to Tom Powers about this question, and he said, there are two filmmakers that always sit through their own films. One is Alan Berliner, and the other may be Barbara Kopple.
Okay.
Wow.
Was the next thing out of his mouth, and they're fucking egomaniacs?
Because then you have Woody Allen, who famously never watches his movie. Doesn't want to see him, doesn't want to be reminded of what he could have done.
I mean, are you like me? I watched the movie. I haven't watched my own films in the comfort of my own home. But if there's a screening, I will sit. I take Barbara's work to heart. But like you, I am monitoring the DCP. I am tech checking. I am also editing, tweaking, beating myself up, kicking myself in the shins. Do you do that, or do you release?
Well, I feel like this will sound funny, and I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I always get all my movies, I work on them long enough so that I kind of love every shot and every edit. So they're like old friends. I see them and I'm like, there was this great Louis Armstrong quote, which I wish I could really remember, where somebody asked him if he liked his records, and he said, "I'm like an old crow with its kids. They're all white as snow to me."
Huh.
Something like, he sees his own stuff as great, even if...
Yeah.
I have to tell you, Ben really doesn't like it when we talk about birds on this podcast. It really sticks in his craw. But
It's good.
do crows? I guess crows give birth to little white, little...
No, they're little black crows. The joke is like, are all as white as snow to me.
I see. Well, the patron saint of Austin, just to finish this thought,
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, is famous for listening to only his records.
Wow, that's
So
great.
he hosts a weekly poker game. Yeah. The only music playing at that poker game is his music.
So good. I have a quote that I love that may be apocryphal, but I think it probably is right, that Willie Nelson said recently, "I think the young people these days should really consider the world they're leaving to Keith Richards and me."
Yes. No, that's true. They should think about Willie, because he can like all of us, those two guys.
We could keep talking on and on, but we are close to where we began, and we know that you have a busy slate of activities and whatnot. Ben likes to end these episodes with a lightning round of questions.
Okay.
If you've got it, I'm going to hit you with the first one. What is the gateway drug film? What is the documentary or nonfiction story that caught a spark in your eye and made you say,
For
I
me?
want to do that for you?
Salesman.
Oh,
Nasal salesman.
That's a great one. And why?
And also Soleil.
We were talking about.
Ben was talking to me about that this morning.
Yep.
So talk about that, because Soleil is obviously...
I went to journalism school, and I was going to be a newspaper reporter, and I took this documentary class, and I never had watched movies as a kid. I'd never watched documentaries. I only knew documentaries as boring PBS stuff. And so in the class, it was so long ago, people would circulate VHS tapes, bootleg things of movies, and so somebody gave me Salesman. I'd never seen anything like it. It was so cool and beautiful and interesting. And then somebody gave me Soleil, and I took it home. I got high and I watched it and was just like, what the fuck is this? This is working on a level of communication that I have not experienced before.
Yeah.
So I watched it again, not stoned, to see if it would just been that I was stoned, and it did the same thing. And I just was so in love with that way of making something that moves people in a way that's not just talking.
Right.
It's such an odd magic, kind of cinematic magic. So those two movies.
He's making such unexpected associations between things in that movie, and he's doing it in what was that, the late 50s, early 60s or something, where it was where
70s, I think.
No, it was in the 60s. It was early enough that nobody had made something like that before.
Fact check.
Yeah, where he was taking archival film and commenting on it in this way that just felt totally new. As Reed mentioned, this is a podcast for people starting out in documentary, falling in love with it.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to somebody who is starting out?
That wants to make films?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say two things. Make small projects. Don't take on some huge 5-year project where you need to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, because in the beginning it's all about making things and learning, and so making short things and have fun. It's so fucking hard. If you're not having fun, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
That is something I would say is a through line of your movies, is that they feel very playful, like you're working with your friends, it feels like, and you're having a good time. Like I'm thinking of the scenes in 32 Sounds when like you and JD are sort of just playing around with the microphone, and that just looks so exciting to be there, you know? Yeah.
Sweetness. I mean, it is fun, but there's a sweetness that comes from your heart that I think I really appreciate. You know?
Or like the handmade signs that you make, and I read this person in your world. You know, it's like there's just a sort of innocent playfulness about it. Yeah. And then the last question is, what is the thing that you cannot stop thinking about right now? And it doesn't have to be film related. Just what's rattling around in your brain right now?
So I have been living in Venice, Italy for a while.
Okay.
And I'm a different person there.
Oh. How so?
Well, you go in a new environment, you become, in Venice, Italy, I've built people that I've taken on an alter ego named Samuele Verde to Sam Green. And so I've never been into sports. But in Samuele Verde is into the Venice soccer team. It's a professional soccer team.
Okay.
And they're awesome. They're kicking ass. And they won this morning 5-2. I watched it at 7 a.m.
You got up early to watch this art. You're officially a soccer fan.
So that's what I've been thinking. That's in my mind. I'm embarrassed to say it's, maybe off-brand for this.
No, it's on brand, and I don't mean to be like an unrepentant ambassador for Austin. That's usually Ben's role. But the soccer club in Austin FC, their slogan is Somos Verde. So we're gonna send you a hat. I'm gonna get you a hat.
That is true. I think we're remiss just a little bit in talking about how it's the end of an era here at Sundance. So do you just have any final thoughts maybe about what this means here the last?
I do. I mean, it is the end of an era, and it's I think the film world has changed. The world has changed. Think about it. We're heading into a very different world, and so in a way it makes sense. We're starting a new chapter, and that's good. And I hope personally, and for you guys too, not to be too old to get with this new time and new chapter. I want to, at least. It's exciting. It's the future.
It's the future.
Yeah, we're
growing.
Well, like you, we're dads of young children, and we know that those kids have a responsibility to Willie and Keith to raise them,
to make a world to bring them.
We know that they are part in that too.
Yeah, but I will say, yes, things can feel sort of overwhelming and dark, but then I see a movie like your new one, and it's reminds me of everything I love about this art form and why I decided to do this for a living. And I am sort of reminded of the beauty of being alive. And I'm so appreciative that you make that kind of work. So thank you.
That's all right. Yes, Tim. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. All right, let's go.
This episode is sponsored in part by the Austin Film Society, the 40-year-old film institution founded by Richard Linklater. Austin Film Society supports nonfiction filmmaking year-round through its monthly Doc Nights series at AFS Cinema, along with its annual documentary film festival, Doc Days, held every May. Learn more at austinfilm.org. This episode is also sponsored by The Long Time. The Long Time is a one-of-a-kind event space located in Austin, Texas, hosting everything from sandlot baseball to commercial film shoots, art exhibitions to surprise weddings. It's the perfect home for your next creative gathering. The Long Time is the home of the Texas Playboys Baseball Club, the host of the annual Wizard Rodeo, and available for private events year-round. Learn more at thelongtime.com.
Next time on Doc Walks. We are still at Sundance, at least as far as these episodes go. We're taking it to the streets, Main Street, that is. Ben and I will greet the people. We will track down filmmakers, film fans, film programmers, anyone really willing to step up to the mic and share their thoughts on this year's Sundance, this year's slate of films, and this year in independent filmmaking coming up. So please join us next time on Doc Walks. Doc Walks is created, produced, and edited by my friend Ben Steinbauer of The Bear.
Hello. And my friend Keith Maitland of Go Valley.
Thanks for tuning in.
Follow us at DocWalksPod on Instagram, X, and YouTube.